for the past 7 days, I didn't use Instagram and I didn't use YouTube even once. I did reply to YouTube comments, but I didn't watch a single video. Addiction is something that you can't stop doing. And that's exactly what was happening with Instagram and YouTube in my case. I was so obsessed with going to these websites and no matter how much I wanted to cut down the time I spent there, and no matter how much I tried, I just couldn't stop doing it. And therefore, I decided it's time to cut it down completely, to do some kind of a digital detox, and then gradually go back into it, but with a good strategy of how you're going to use it and why. I set up a strict rule. There is no YouTube and there is no Instagram for 7 days. I could read blogs, I could read books, and I could consume long content like podcasts or movies, not even TV shows, because they are tiny digestible things that you can absorb quickly and quickly get into the loop of never-ending watching or binge watching, as you say. So the first problem started on the day 1. This might sound weird, and I don't know even if I should share this with you, but I'm about to take and my first thought was, gee, I need to take the phone. So right now you can't even take a without thinking about your phone. So I think I should just keep it there and do my business alone. No people from Instagram staring at me.
Stay there.
And the first day was probably the most difficult because all of a sudden you realize you've got so much time on your hands and you don't know what to do with it. Basically, you get bored. I would use YouTube and Instagram to cure that boredom. But not only that, YouTube and Instagram were some sort of a crutch for my resistance when I was stuck with my art, with creating, with just being unable to create. And when creation becomes difficult, you open these apps to see if they could help you solve your creative problems, and they're just distractions, a way to procrastinate. But now that you made that decision, that Instagram and YouTube are not an option once you're bored, then your brain starts to trick you into something else meaningless, like playing video games that happened yesterday, or anything meaningless. But once you make a decision not to engage in that first reflex, then you start thinking, okay, I can't do anything meaningless. Let's find something meaningful to do. And once you finish doing something meaningful, you kind of feel good. And I must say that I feel incredibly good just because I didn't see a single YouTube video and I didn't open Instagram. I don't know what's going on in the world. The other problems that were common until day 3 and 4 and even further were the things that I would wake up with that instinct to just quickly check my phone the moment I wake up. And that's something I was fighting for a long time, and I used to leave my phone outside the bedroom, so I just wouldn't wake up, find the phone in the bed and start swiping. Because if the phone is in the bed or anywhere near the bed, you would just do that. immediately. So I left the phone on my desk, and I turned on the airplane mode most of the times, and I wouldn't check my phone for the first hour of the day. I woke up today at around 7. I had a minor urge to open my apps, but I just handled that quite easily. And the funny thing is that I just had my lunch, and the moment I started to eat, I had a sudden urge to open YouTube or Instagram. Either works, because I usually spend a little bit of time on both of these apps during lunch. So let's kick back that habit and not engage in it. So every time you break a chain, you're about to break a habit. So I'm proud. It goes well so far. But it's not just about the YouTube and Instagram, and because the reasons we are addicted to YouTube and Instagram, it's because these activities are dopamine urgic activities. And what that means is that first you do these activities or consume something, if it's food, your body produces a hormone called dopamine, and it gives you a signal. It's good. It feels good. Let's do it again. And once you don't do these things, your body starts craving and starts producing more dopamine to just make you do these things that will make you eventually produce more dopamine, more endorphins, more happy hormones. And once you make that decision not to engage in YouTube and Instagram or food or drugs, because there's no difference in the dopamine mechanism when it comes to any kind of addiction, then your brain starts to search for some kind of substitutes. It's day 3 of my digital detox, and something interesting kicked in today, which is something that often happens when I do these detoxes. It's not the first one. And the thing is that I catch myself scrolling things I never scroll, something like LinkedIn or WeChat Moments, which is like a feed for WeChat. And 99% of the things I see in WeChat I don't understand because it's entirely in Chinese, but I still caught myself scrolling completely unconsciously. So that's something to worry about and something to take care of. It's 4:28, and my brain is trying to trick me into consuming something digital and producing dopamine that it actually needs, and it craves it very badly. So somewhere around afternoon, I just had a thought, let's download my favorite video game, one of my favorite video games, and let's play. And in the middle of that download, I realized, oh, that's my brain trying to trick me into that. I'm not actually going to feel happy after playing that game. I'm gonna feel guilt. And the thing is, why substitute one bad thing with another one? So I'm not saying that games are necessarily bad, but right now it's my dopamine cravings kicking in. So let's not do anything. So to stop my cravings, I decided to take a walk and buy groceries for the next week. That kind of cleared my mind, but I still crave dopamine, so I decided to buy one can of beer because it's dopamine, but it's not digital, and it just won't turn into a endless loop of playing games or watching videos or scrolling through social media feeds. So it's quite tough, the day 3, but it's not anything new for me. As I said, it's not a new experience. I did this in the past. And it's okay to be bored. It's okay to have some time on your plate to do nothing, basically. There's nothing wrong with that. And I built that addiction of always having a delusion that I'm doing something useful by watching educational YouTube videos, and it can turn into a day of watching educational YouTube videos and not actually doing anything else. So although I have that false sense of learning, I'm not applying most of the stuff I learn, so it's just false education. And let's go in the slow lane and learn actually from books. I think that's way better. And let's break this YouTube watching addiction, because I do feel better, I do feel calmer and less stressed and less anxious when I'm not watching YouTube as much as I'd like to. Cheers. I'm at school right now. It's 5:12. My class is at 6:10. So I have exactly 1 hour to spend here. And if I was not on my digital detox, I would probably spend the entire hour watching some videos on YouTube, which isn't necessarily bad, but there are more productive ways that I can spend this time, like reading, writing, or doing nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is just the right thing to do. Just stare at the wall, go outside, take a walk. If you have a dog, that's a perfect excuse to go out and take a walk. Otherwise, just go take a walk, breathe some air, observe the nature. If there is nature next to you, if there isn't, just walk down the city, try to see what's new, observe people, sit down on a bench, just get bored. Getting bored is a good thing. It's not something bad. And trying to escape boredom can be toxic, especially now when we have so many easy ways out of boredom. It's good to be bored. So just be bored. Watch what will manifest out of that boredom if you don't allow yourself to do anything meaningless. Your brain will find the ways to do something meaningful. But if you allow yourself to do something meaningless, your brain will find the ways to do anything meaningless, because brain just wants to do whatever you set it up to do. You should be the master, not your brain. Your brain is just an organ. You shouldn't always listen to it. And you are just not only in your single organ, you're the whole thing. The feet, the guts, the legs, the head, the stomach, the arms, all bones and flesh and blood. It's everything is you, not just your brain. So don't always listen to that thing in your head that's whispering, oh, maybe we should watch another YouTube video, even if it's this video. Do you want to be controlled by your organ or not? When you think about it like that, it's quite easy to just get rid of that trigger to listen to that voice in your head, which is saying to you, let's play some video games because we can't watch YouTube or Instagram. So let's find something else that will produce more dopamine for us. Probably the biggest problem with these things is the way these apps are designed. They're designed to hook you, to make you addicted, because the more you watch YouTube videos, the more money YouTube makes, and the YouTube creators as well. So their goal, their aim is to make you want to watch more. We are information gathering creature. And it's not the first time that we have abundance of information. There were newsstands and TV that used to hold a lot of information, but the thing is, we weren't always interested in every piece of information you could have find, let's say, in a newspaper. Well, if you open the newspaper and you would usually skip the boring parts and find what's interesting to you. But when you open YouTube, YouTube makes sure that on your homepage there is at least one video that might be interesting to you, and usually it's all of them. So it's very hard to even make a decision which video to watch when you have like 6 videos. Once you open your homepage and you want to watch every of them, and then there is the recommended, then there is the next one, there is notifications, there's all sorts of things that are designed to keep you watching. And it's not about the people you follow, it's about what you want to watch the most. And for some reason, YouTube figure out how to know better what you want to watch than you yourself know. But even for that, there are some simple solutions, like don't use it on your phone, don't use it on your iPad. And I mean, for YouTube and for Instagram, it's the same. Their algorithm works the same. Instagram also doesn't show you everybody you follow. It always shows you the people you engage with the most, content you spend the most time on. And so just remove the apps from your phone and you won't get these notifications, you won't be distracted, and you won't be coming back. Because even if you decide, okay, I had enough YouTube or Instagram for today, and then you get the notification and you open that notification, you check that one post, and you think, oh, well, I'm still here, let's scroll a little bit more, and then you spend more time than you want to. So removing the app is like a perfect solution for that, and it worked for me. And the other thing you can do on your computer, if you're going to watch YouTube only on your computer, is just to install 2 add-ons, 2 extensions for Google Chrome. I think they work for Firefox or any other browser as well. And let me just quickly check which they are. The first add-on I use on my YouTube, actually on my browser when I'm opening YouTube, is called Unhook. And you can hide almost anything there. You can only see the search bar if you want to search something like how to set up the camera, and you find that video, click on it. There is no recommended, there is no comments, you can't see anything that will distract you and make you want to watch more than you need to. Once you find out the information you needed, you can just leave YouTube. And it's very customizable. You can leave notifications or hide them, do sort of things. You have a lot of control there. And the amazing thing is that the app is absolutely free. The other free app that I use, which is more common for creators, is Goodbye Metrics, which is designed by Matt Diavella and his company Slow Growth. And that app also works on YouTube Studio, so you can hide different aspects like analytics, comments, views, if that's something that bothers you. If you don't want to know all the time how your video performs, but you want to go and reply to comments, you can do that. And you don't want to worry about how many subscribers, how any kind of statistics or analytics. You just want to control how much of that you consume, then you can hide that as well. So I think that that's a perfectly good solution for that kind of problem, and it can control the addictiveness of the app. But of course, it's very easy to turn them off. So you must just stick to that. And again, you need to ask yourself, who is the master? Is it you or your brain or the app? I think none of us want to let YouTube or Instagram or our brain, even our brain, to let them to be the masters, because we, whoever we are, our consciousness, whatever that is, our entire being should be in charge. And if you make the decision, I don't want to watch more than 30 minutes a day, it should be like that. And you shouldn't get hooked that easily. And these people who create these apps, they know what they're doing. They are expert in psychology, in human behavior, and they design these apps just to hook you. And knowing what I know about these apps, I was really afraid of going back, because I know I've got addictive personality, meaning that I can, whatever you can get hooked on, I really easily get hooked on. I used to smoke, I used to drink. Fortunately, I didn't do drugs, but if I did them, it would be devastating. I probably won't be talking here this moment if I did any drugs. That's just reality. I'm like that Velcro thing. All these addictions just stick to me. So in order to go back to you watching YouTube or consuming Instagram, I just needed to approach it with a very good and very strict strategy. And I borrowed that strategy from my dietary plan. I'm usually on a keto or low carb diets. These days, not so much, but I always follow intermittent fasting, and I take care of the things that I consume. I don't often consume refined sugars or any refined carbohydrates, any refined food. I just avoid like hell. But I do allow myself once a week to break that rule. And I think I'm gonna have the same approach with my YouTube and Instagram, because I don't see them as necessarily bad. You can still enjoy them, and not just enjoy them, make them useful, but it needs to be in a controlled manner. Same as carbs. Carbs are a proper energy source, but if you overconsume them, it leads you into illnesses like diabetes. It's all caused by overconsumption of refined carbohydrates, although chocolate is quite delicious, or cookies or donuts or everything. You shouldn't avoid them at any cost, but you should approach them strategically. So that's my plan for getting back. I could never do something like I only smoke one cigarette a day or whatever. It was always chain. It was always all in. Same goes with drinking. While drinking right now is pretty much under control. I take only one drink if I'm drinking, and that's it. But when I was younger, my drinking would look like all in, basically drink until you pass out. The things will probably become more difficult once you adjust to this new feeling of, look, I have so much time on my hands, which I appreciate now. And the things will become more difficult once it becomes normal. Once that time I've got is just every day. And
Usually what happens in these situations is, oh, just one day won't kill me, 1 hour won't kill me, or one video won't kill me. And it quickly spirals out of control. That's just my experience with that. But knowing what I know from Atomic Habits, I should probably implement the rule which James made, the author of the book, is you can skip one day, but you can't skip 2 days. Or you can break a rule once, but you can't make a chain of two. And that should probably work.
Apart from having a lot of time on your hands when you don't consume these social medias in that way, you also have other benefits. For example, I felt more present here and now. I was more focused on the things I was doing. I even enjoyed some of the classes in school I never enjoyed. I really had fun in the classroom today, something I don't often have. And I give credit for that to my lack of social media. It's just my brain is not running all the time on that treadmill of social media, so I didn't give him momentum to race and to seek attention every now and then. So when I'm in the classroom, my entire attention is on the students. So man, life feels good without social media. Writing also felt much better when I'm not consuming these things, when my mind is not clustered with all the input that I can get from any type of media. Just feels amazing. It's so much clearer. I so much better perspective. Words come more easily, images come more easily. After 7 days of not consuming Instagram and YouTube, I opened Instagram on my computer. I didn't install the app on the phone. I read all the posts that I missed in 7 days. I've seen most of the stories from yesterday. And my conclusion is that I don't miss any of that at all. I did find one or two useful or interesting things there, but just to sit and browse to that, to find that 1% of interesting or useful things, I think it's not worth the time. Even creators or people I follow, they usually post things that are not of any interest to me, and just watching that and trying not to miss out is a complete waste of time. And I also didn't see any YouTube videos. I've just checked through my notifications and I figured out that I'm not interested in watching any of that just based on the title or thumbnails. And the funny thing is that you can't realize that you're wasting time until you take a break for some time, because once you come back after 7 days, the first thing that popped in my head is, did I really feel anxious that I'm going to miss all of this? All of basically nothing for 7 days? I had that question lurking around my head, let's say. I was wondering what I'm actually missing, and once I opened it and saw what I missed, the thing was that I asked is that really it? I was worried about that. So I didn't miss anything. So all in all, YouTube and Instagram are not bad things, but there should be a limit on them. And if this video is something you didn't want to watch, then I'm sorry, just YouTube tricked you into watching this. But if it's indeed something you wanted to watch and it helped you, it inspired you in any way, and you just want to say thank you, you can always like the video, leave a comment, ask any questions. And I even set up a Patreon page for everybody who would like to financially support running this channel, making these videos. I mean, these videos cost time and money. So if you want to support the growth of this channel, and you're free to do it, everything is linked down below. I probably won't advertise this much, but I'll keep all these links in the description for the future. And thank everybody for watching and for supporting this channel. I hope you find value in it. Cheers.